Welcome to Discover Manufacturing Week. My name is Cindy Farah and I'm your host, and I'm also the project coordinator for Discover Manufacturing. I'm really excited to be here today and be part of Manufacturing Week. It's just such a wonderful way to bring schools and companies together for students like you to learn a lot more about the manufacturing industry and the different careers and all the possibilities. So we have an interesting program lined up for you today. You'll be hearing from two companies. We have Hamtech here and we have ESI. So they'll both be presenting for a short while. And then if you do have questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A on your toolbar there. Just submit your questions that way. And if you are watching as a class, just have your teacher submit your questions and we will save time at the end to answer your questions. So if there are any high school seniors watching, then we want you to know that Discover Manufacturing is offering scholarships for students who are high school seniors who are interested in pursuing a career in manufacturing. So if you are interested in that, please check out our website, and we have all the information on there with the application, and your teacher can also guide you to that website, and it's in the educator toolkit too. So also today, we would really appreciate it if everybody in the webinar could complete a survey after the webinar, and the students who complete the survey will be entered into a drawing to receive a $10 Amazon gift card, and we will select 20 students. So please remember to complete the survey. So with that, I would like to get started with our first company. We have Hamtech here, and we are going to begin with their company video.
We're here at Hamtech in Big Rapids, Michigan. This is a machine shop that's been around for about 25 years. We specialize in machining goods for different factories and facilities in the area. Anything from replacement tooling to new parts for engine components and things of that nature.
Hamtech's a really diverse shop, so basically whatever the customer decides to bring in, we find a way to make it.
The bulk of our business here at Hamtech is generally making replacement tooling for factories in town. Sometimes that comes with a print, sometimes it comes with just a sample part that they want us to replicate.
What I like most about my job is I get to watch the part go through all the phases of programming and machining. I get to be a part of the process all the way from the beginning to the end.
I came from a career center, so I had a basic knowledge of all the machines, but they're very accommodating. They'll teach you what you need to know as long as you're willing to learn it. They're also putting me through an apprenticeship for machining, which is a 4-year program that I'll come out with a journeyman's card. Basically, my apprenticeship, after work, I go to classes. My job pays for it all, as long as I keep up a certain grade.
One misconception I had about manufacturing is that it's day in, day out, same thing every day, 8 hours a day, and it's really not, I guess, depending on where you go. There's always something new, always a new challenge.
A lot of times people say manufacturing's going downhill. From what I've seen, there's more jobs, especially in what we do in machining.
Oh, great video. It's really interesting to hear about that and the different types of things that are happening in manufacturing. I'm excited to introduce you to Dave Hamelin today. He is the president of Hamtech, and he's joining us. Hello. Hi, Dave.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here.
It's I'm excited to showcase our company and all the young men and that are in it. The manufacturing is available for men and women. There's plenty of spots. If you notice that everybody there was relatively young, certainly a lot younger than myself, and that is the way it's going to be. There's a tremendous amount of capacity that we need as far as skilled trades and machining. So there's plenty of opportunities for you if you want to get into manufacturing. What you've seen there was really just a small area of manufacturing. Machining, but there's lots of other types of manufacturing that you'll see other video from other companies, but it's really a all-encompassing arena. It really is.
Well, that is awesome. And we are excited to hear about how you got started, because I know you told me you started your company in 1982. So
Yes,
you've been around a while, and we'd love to hear, how did you decide to pursue this career and how did you get started?
Well, when I was you guys' age, I really had no idea what I wanted. It certainly wasn't where I ended up. I didn't even like being in geometry class. I couldn't figure a reason for it. I really thought it was to employ a teacher. That's really what I thought it was. And as I got an opportunity to go to work on co-op, then that's what they called it, and that piqued my interest in manufacturing. And I went from cleaning coolant tanks to doing reworks in the engineering department, and eventually thought that it would be nice to buy a machine and maybe someday run a company or have my own company. And that's what we ended up doing. So you can go all the way from having your own company and taking the risk and the reward that goes with that, or working for somebody else and having a stable career. Manufacturing does provide a good middle class earning. There is good money in manufacturing, and it will get better.
Well, that is cool. Yeah. So you started with like one machine, you said? And
Yes.
and you built it from there over the years.
Yes,
And you said 39 years?
Yes, I've been doing this for 39 years. Yes.
Well,
And the gentleman that was talking during most of the, he's now in the process of taking over my business. So that is the opportunities that are out there. There's plenty of room for growth.
Yes. And so what is your perception of the job outlook for manufacturing? You said there was a lot of opportunities. What types of jobs are there? What types of jobs? And
well, you've seen the machinist part of it in the videos, but really that's just really the tip of the iceberg. There's people that plan. There's people that do statistical SPC, statistical product control, that predict how many parts you're going to have bad and make sure that they don't get to the consumer. There's financial aspects to it. There's sales. That's a whole nother area that if you're interested in people, that sales is a great way of going. But you got to know something, so you really need to understand the product that you're selling before you can sell it. Well, there's plenty of different avenues to go, depending on what your skill set is.
yes. So what kind of training do companies like yours provide for employees?
Today, apprenticeships are very common, and we also take some college and build from that. There's lots of companies that will pay you to go to college if that is where they need your expertise. They will also pay for a 4-year apprenticeship, and you'll come up with an apprenticeship, a journeyman's card that is a gold standard for that area of that area expertise. And all that is done by the company, paid for 100%. So there's plenty of opportunities for not only experience but education.
Well, that's really interesting to hear. What do you like most about your job?
I love my job. I really do. I'm able to interface with customers as well as my employees. We have, it's just, there's the whole, every day is different. We go from, it's just a variety of issues, problems, but then solutions. You can actually, you can make a difference. And it's really working with young people. I really enjoy working with young people and people.
Yeah.
I enjoy.
I know, I can tell. And we have a lot of young people watching today, and we appreciate them being here. And also, I'd just like to know, what advice would you give to them for their future?
I would suggest that you research what you like. Manufacturing, I want to say, is a spot. There's a spot for you. I would hope you would find as a career something you like. If you like it, you'll never work a day in your life. All of these jobs, you need to be attentive. You need to be there on time. You need to work as if your boss was working for you. If you do that, you will have success.
Yes, that's really good advice, because I think what you're saying is just work hard, look for things that you enjoy doing. I think paying attention in school, and what I'm hearing, you said geometry and math was really important. Also, English, I mean, you need to be able to express yourself. All of the subjects help train you for careers in manufacturing. And then what you said was there's opportunities with apprenticeships, which we can find out a lot more about. We have an educator toolkit for the teachers, and they could talk to their students about that. And there's just a lot of jobs and different opportunities. And we're so excited to hear about that and hear directly from you, since you're an entrepreneur and started your own company and have been very successful. And we just really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, Dave. Yeah. All right. Well, our next company, we will be showing their company video. It's ESI, and we will begin with their video.
Drive by these big buildings and they have no idea what goes on inside. And one of the things that I find that they know the least about is how much technology happens in these buildings. So it's not just, like for us, it's not just an assembly line where you're doing the same thing over and over. All of our products are very unique. They're very much based on customer needs. So it's not like you have a catalog where you say, well, I'll take 30 of that exact piece. They're very much custom built. And so you're doing something different every day. The technology they use, the programming that goes into using the machines. I really don't think that, not even just students, but I really don't think that a lot of adults even realize what happens within these walls. We actually have facilities in other places in Michigan as well as some other states, all still material handling, but right here in Everett, in this facility that we're in, there's several different businesses. One of them is Patriot Steelworks. They do sheet metal processing. One of them is Durham Manufacturing. They do kind of assembly, welding, fabrication work. Garrison Coatings, they do powder coating. And then we also have some storage with Just Kidding LLC, Kitting, so they do some storage and warehousing. But all of those processes and all of the work that all of those businesses do, they are making conveyor systems. The job descriptions range from entry-level deburring to powder coating, which can also be very entry-level, or for experienced people that have experience in that area. We also have welding, which you can learn on the job, but experienced welders will come in at a little bit higher rate. Assembly work, and then we also have machine operators. So we've got CNC lathe machines and press brake machines, and that's how they're bending, stamping, punching, manipulating the metal according to what the diagrams or the blueprints are showing them. The opportunities within ESI client base for growth is tremendous if you are the type of person that likes to keep learning and likes to solve problems. So because ESI has so many clients and they're smaller teams, each client is a small team, that lends itself to developing a lot of leadership roles. And so anybody, people that are here and they're working hard and they want to keep learning, most often they end up in a leadership role at some point. So there is a lot of room to grow. And not only that, but even on the floor, the shop floor, you can learn, you start on the press brake or deburring, and then you end up learning all the different machines, maybe learning powder coating. And so there's just so much room for people to learn and expand their competencies. And of course, the more you know, the higher the paycheck. And the other thing I think is cool is with the material handling industry, people don't realize how important that is to their life. And so every, Amazon package that you get delivered, everything that you use, touch, eat, drive in, parts and pieces of that, or the whole thing has likely touched this equipment at some point in its life cycle. So to be part of that, it's something so much bigger than just, the individual person.
Well, that's a great video also. And thanks to Jackie Krozak. She was a presenter in the video. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here today from ESI, but we will be able to answer some of their questions. I'd just like to point out how modern manufacturing is really using technology these days. And there's so many things available in that field. And so I have joining me here today, Jerry Hill. He's from Discover Manufacturing also, and he is our industry council lead, and he has a lot of knowledge in the manufacturing industry. Hello, Jerry.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for having me. And good morning to you all. Hey, we're going to ask a few questions here. I don't see any questions in the Q&A just yet, but I know from previous experience that some of the things that our students want to know. I'm hoping, Dave, that you'll turn your camera back on and we can ask you a few more questions if you wouldn't mind.
No, let's be fine.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Dave. Hey, the students usually want to know about the range of jobs and what they pay.
They pay from anywhere from $12 all the way up to $30. That's a good range. Right now, the highest ones, I believe, in this area would be PLC, programmable logic controller. So it would be a low voltage electrician that knows how to program PLCs and understands mechanics. And so that there's lots of opportunities for that. You can make six figures very easily. That's not just one spot. That's not a manager. There's many of those.
Perfect. I see that Jackie's been able to join us now. Jackie, if you, hopefully you can unmute and turn on your camera.
Yeah, hi.
Perfect.
Sorry about the technical issues this morning.
No worries, no worries. We're glad that you're here. Hey, I'm sure that our students have a few questions for you as well, but I was hoping to ask you one or two myself. It's National Apprenticeship Week. Can you tell us why apprenticeships are important to manufacturing?
Well, there's a lot of things to learn on the job. I mean, you can take all the classes you want, but there's still a amount of information and competency that you learn on the job. And so apprenticeships allows that to happen a little bit different than just throwing you into the job and starting as an employee, a regular employee. So apprenticeships just allow that training to happen in a more efficient way.
Thanks. Hey, one of our students wants to know, Jackie, how many companies would you say offer overtime? Do most of your companies have routine overtime, would you say?
Absolutely. We actually are on 50 hours a week, mandatory 50s for almost every one of our companies. And then there's pretty much unlimited overtime above and beyond that 50.
Wow. What if, say, you didn't want to work that much or you couldn't work that much? Do you have any flexible positions or part-time positions?
We do. Yep. We hire flexible. We hire part-time. I don't know what kind of time do we have left, because I can actually pull up my PowerPoint and go over some of this stuff.
Yeah, I think we've got a few minutes, Jackie. If you can share your screen, that'd be great.
Yeah. Let me. All right. Can you guys see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go through this real quick, but so I'm representing Employment Services. We are an HR company that does HR work for about 60 different manufacturing companies, plus sales, engineering, and business support services like financial. We make material handling equipment. There we go. Material handling equipment. So if you've ever, look at the products on the screen, plus hundreds of thousands of other products, but batteries, sunglasses, Amazon packages, tires, Pepsi, Gatorade, the shiny part, the stainless steel on fire trucks, any delivery that you've gotten from the postal service, FedEx, UPS, that likely has all touched our equipment at some point in its life cycle, either with the manufacturing of it, the distribution of it, or the recycling or end of the life for that product. So this is just a picture of some material handling equipment conveyor pieces, but everything starts with the sales and engineering teams. And so they're hired by one of the businesses that we represent and we do HR work for. And so they have to make the sale, of course, and then they do the engineering for it. Now, we're very unique, so we're very based on what the customer needs, and that's why there's so many small businesses, because we can tweak what we do based on the exact customer needs. It's not a mass production like you saw in the video. It's not mass production at all. But then once that engineered drawing is approved by the customer and by the sales, and that's all worked out, then we start with the basics, the sheet metal processing, and the stock material, like it might be tube stock, round stock, all kinds of different stock material. And we use a variety of machines, which you can see in the pictures. And I have the technology picture there too, because it's really not just assembly line or manual labor. There's a lot of technology, but there's press brake machines, CNC machines, laser cutters, woodworking tools, bending machines, punch press, grinders, so much more to make parts and pieces that then go into the material handling equipment, which you can see there's rollers, leg assemblies are in this photo right here, pulleys, bearings, belts, guards. I mean, the whole gamut. They're making it in these different shops. Then the parts have to go on for coating. So they might be powder coated, which is the most popular. That's a lot of fun to see the colors and what they do with the powder coating. They might be rubber coated. They might have a certain ground finish on it, maybe wet spray. And then also there's some sleeving processes as well. Then it goes into fabrication and assembly of the product. So we have specialty welders all the way to more basic welding and grinding and assembly work, but all the way up to heavy duty industrial assembly. From there, it goes into the final assembly. So you can see just some pictures of some basic roller conveyors, but you can also see something a little bit different. Those are tables. Those are actually tilted the wrong way. They'd be flat actually when they're being used. But all kinds of different products and equipment that they make. ESI has clients in Michigan and all of those cities. We're actually looking at 3 others right now. We're also located in Florida, Iowa, Illinois, and Ohio. There are about 1,200 employees total. There's about 60 independent businesses, 35% plus growth every year. Some of the businesses are experiencing much greater growth than that. There are excellent benefits, healthcare to 401k and all of those things, plus a discretionary bonus program that's very attractive to people. Right now, we have about 150 career openings, and those are in everything from engineering, sales, to shipping, receiving, to shop jobs, welding, assembly, powder coating, etc. And then I just included a list of things that people should have. I mean, you can learn the skills and the competencies, but what we really like is people with these what we call above the line skills. You might have heard them as soft skills, but positive attitude, willingness to learn, desire to grow, and things like that. So in a nutshell, that's my presentation very quickly. So if there are any additional questions, I'd be happy to answer.
That's great, Jackie, and thank you. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties this morning as well, but we enjoyed your presentation. Hey, one of our students would like to know if you offer holiday pay and what that looks like.
We do have holiday pay. We have 6 paid holidays a year. And then we also have earned vacation time. So based on number of hours worked, you earn your vacation time.
Great. I want to know, Chelsea would like to know, how many different machines do you have at your location?
Well, we have multiple locations, so that's a tough one to answer, but we probably have, I'd say 15 to 20 different types of machines, but we might have 6 of one type across the board in all the shops. So, press brakes, we might have, I think we have 6 or 7 in one of the shops alone. And then in other shops, we might have more. So a lot. It's a big number.
Great, great. Hey, opportunities for young people. You mentioned you have 150 open positions, career positions currently. What are most of those jobs in?
The majority of them are in shop positions. So, machine operation, machining, welding, assembly, powder coat, grinding, woodworking, general labor. Those can be very entry level. We can start someone in powder coating or grinding or even basic assembly. We can start someone with no prior experience, but just wants to learn. So that the other jobs that are open, engineering, sales, project management, finance, those would require a little bit more experience or a degree.
Great, great. Hey, how many apprentices would you say that you have within your organization?
We right now, so COVID kind of messed things up a little bit because we put a bit of a stop to that when COVID happened. And so right now we probably have it's mostly in the engineering because they could work from home. So I think we probably have half a dozen, but when COVID is a little calmer and things, change a little more, we can take as many as our clients are willing to bring on board, which could be a big number.
Perfect. Since you brought COVID up, I'm sure that the students are curious what COVID kind of did to your business and how are you recovering?
Well, surprisingly, our business is material handling and has a lot to do with distribution of goods. And so what happened when COVID came around is everyone started ordering everything online. And so we actually were growing by leaps and bounds because all of a sudden there was such a bigger demand for distribution of goods, and that's what we do. And so it positively affected our companies. We had a little bit of issue with supply chain, and we still struggle a little bit with that. The biggest negative impact is the hiring and the employee availability. Whatever the reasons are that people aren't working or we're having trouble finding people, could be COVID related, but there's a lot of reasons to that. So overall, it wasn't that huge of an impact for us.
Great, Jackie. One last question, and then we're going to wrap up for today. But one of our students would like to know, as a high school student, what kind of things do they need to be hired in your company? I think you kind of talked about this a little bit, the positive attitude, the willingness to learn, and some of it. But if you could go over that list again, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So positive attitude, a work ethic. So, knowing that you're going to work 40 plus hours a week, excellent communication, being a team player, having responsibility. So you're going to show up on time every time. It's not that you get to pick and choose your days and times you show up. Being safe. We need somebody, it's a very risk sensitive environment, safety sensitive. So someone who's going to adhere to the safety policies, a willingness to learn and a desire and willingness to grow. And then on top of that, it does help if you know how to use a tape measure. It does help if you worked around the yard or in the garage with your family or brother or somebody growing up. And it does help if you like to work with your hands and learn how things are put together and how things work.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Cindy, I'm going to turn it back over to you and have you thank our panelists and say goodbye.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you, Jerry, so much. Great job. And Jackie from ESI, we so appreciate you being here. We're sorry about the technical difficulties. Dave Hameland from Hamtech, thank you so much. We appreciate also the educators and students who are here and who have participated with us. We hope you enjoyed today's program.